Hello, hello. How are you? It's been a while. I haven't made a video since Thursday. My bad. I've been closing deals over here, living life. Oh my goodness. My name is Mike. Channel's name is Health and Wealth. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to just go over my positions, my thought process at the moment, things that I want to start incorporating into my trading, into my positions, into my investing, the future. And I don't know, I think it might be an interesting video for you to watch. We'll talk about how my yield max positions are doing, how my harvest position is doing, and then think about maybe some options. Ooh, right? How's the market doing? All of that good stuff. So, again, Mike, Health and Wealth is the channel name. Thank you for joining me today. Let's go over the positions first. As another red day in terms of my positions, not all positions. I actually noticed the S&P 500 was up today, but here we go. We got first of all, we got Misty MSTY. What a train wreck this has been over the last month here, down 30% or 6 months or a year here, 74% in share price. Now, this is not painting the entire picture, of course. We've got a distribution every single month, now every single week over the last 4 or 5 weeks here that has kind of cushioned that blow a little bit, but it's not quite a blunt force trauma to the head here. But it's getting pretty close to that, isn't it? Right. So over the last day today, down 2.81%. Last 5 days here, down 7.98%. Tomorrow will be the distribution announcement for it. But you can see it had a sharp spike today downwards. Mister itself, same thing, down 3%. Let's just do a comparison, right? So Misty actually went down less than Mister did, which is good news for us. I mean, we'll take that. Mister is getting to a pretty low share price here. If you look at it over the last year, down 31% in share price in that same time, right? So you look at your yield max funds and you say, oh, these are trash. But I mean, the underlying is also trash at the moment, right? So that has a lot to do with it for sure. As my work computer starts talking to me over here, good times. But I mean, what else happened today? Well, Bitcoin went down 3% today, everybody. Bitcoin went down 3%, down $3,217 over the last 5 days. It's just kind of doing the same thing, right? It's up 1.45%. But today, down 3%. That had a lot to do with it. Next, we have NVDA, one of the most stable ETFs in terms of the high volatility, risky ones that we are invested in. But today down 1.76% over the last week, down almost 5% share price. Now, X distribution date had a lot to do with that. Let's go look at NVDA today, down 2.96, so more than NVIDIA. This is important because we always talk about these funds have all of the downside risk and not all of the upside risk or upside benefits. Well, here we are. We're looking at it firsthand. Didn't go down as much as the underlying did, right? Over the last 5 days, it did go down more. And the reason is Wednesday, there's your X distribution date. So that was a big one right there. Plus, the market was down that day. You can see over here, Wednesday, bad day for NVIDIA. So it was like a double hit. X distribution date plus a bad day on the market. Next is CONY. This one should be going down today considering Bitcoin's going down 3.11%. Oh, 311. You guys know that band? Whoa! Amber is the color of your energy. You know that band? Go look it up. 311. Good. They got like 2-3 songs that are good. Next, over the last 5 days, down 4.51%. Coinbase today down even more, right? 311 was CONY. Coinbase down 4.38. Last 5 days, though, CONY did worse because of the X distribution date, everybody. The X distribution date is them taking the money that we are paying, that we are to be paid for distributions. That's why it's down worse. ULTY is ULTY. I wanted to make an ultra lit. Oh, I can't even say the word. Just it hasn't been good, everybody. Hasn't been good. I've been thinking deeply here of turning off the drip. I I think I'm going to turn off the drip. We'll make a video on Thursday. I'm going to make a decision between today and Thursday if I'm turning off the drip on ULTY. I haven't decided yet. You can't tell me what to do either in the comments, but you could make your suggestions, but you're not going to tell me what to do. So yeah, look at the last 5 days. I down 3.41%. Basically the same as every other one, though, right? It's not like it's special. It's not like it's going down worse than the other ones in the last 5 days. But here we go, right? Today, down 1.74. Okay, cool. Last one I have in my portfolio that I share with you guys is HHIS. Now, HHIS is a Canadian fund. It is pretty good, actually. Definitely paid out good amount of distribution so far. It pays out 26 cents per share. Last 5 days down just a little bit. But I mean, since this thing came out, it's up 9.34%, plus paying out a great distribution. My average cost is in the $10 range on this one. You can see I bought right around here, probably 10.70 I bought. I waited for a couple of green days in a row, and then I bought. So that was my plan with that one. That's my plan with all these funds. I wait for a few green days before I end up buying any more of anything. I think that's a smart decision. Now, the whole market was not down today. Actually, the S&P 500 was up just a fraction today, 0.23%. So a lot of these tech-focused, I mean, there's mostly tech in the S&P 500 with the weighting in there, right? But a lot of the crypto-focused funds had a hard time. I know NVDA itself had a hard time. NVIDIA is worth, the company is worth 2 times of Canada's value. That's crazy. So it was due to come down. Again, Bitcoin down here at 102. If it gets to 100,000, I'll go buy an extra $100 worth. But I really do have a $75,000 mark in my head. I always say if it gets there, I'm going to double my position. Again, not very much money in it, but kind of fun money. And then hopefully long term, it's going to build value over time, which I think we all know it will. Here's the stock market news on CNBC. I was like, wow, the whole market's down. But then I realized the S&P 500 actually went up a little bit. So it was mostly the NASDAQ went down. Whenever the S&P 500 goes up, the VIX usually comes down. I thought about maybe trading options on the VIX, but I'm going to hold off. So, just some news out there on the market. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes tomorrow. It seems like every other day it goes up and down. I also chose to look at this website right here. If you haven't looked at finviz.com, this is the website, finviz.com. And if I go back to the homepage here, you can kind of see the S&P 500 heat map here. You can see what companies did well. So mostly green. The biggest red is going to be NVIDIA up there with 2.9% down. And then you can see right here, it's like the deepest red there as well. Oops, I want to zoom in. Let's go back out here. So a lot of green on the market today. Just happened to be the ones that I'm invested in went down. There's also, this is a cool website. You can also check out other indexes out there like the Dow Jones 30. This is all of the stocks that are in that. The NASDAQ 100, all of the stocks in that, right? NVIDIA is a massive portion of the NASDAQ. The Russell 2000's got just tons and tons of stocks in it. There's some red there. It's kind of looking like Christmas a little bit. But I like to go S&P 500. And here's kind of the thought process coming up in my mind, everybody. I want to adventure outside of just doing distributions and dividends and growth funds, things like that, and start kind of turning the page and making my own income. It is a risky move, but in order to do it, I want to start trading options again. I haven't done options in, I don't know, 4 years when I used to trade SoFi and Riot and Tilray and Clean Spark. These are some of the names I chose because they were all within my budget. Well, the brokerage that I'm with just made an announcement that we can now officially, complete the wheel in the options world, which means that we can have cash secured puts. And, as of a week ago, we needed $10,000 in that account just to write one cash secured put. So now they said you don't need that. All you need is the cash to secure that put. So if it's a I don't know, let's just call it a $20 play strike price, then we need $2,000 in the account, not $10,000 anymore. So Questrade has made it more affordable for me to now complete the wheel. And before, what I had to do was buy the stock and write covered calls on it. And then that was fine, but they also charged $10 at the time for each way, right? So and plus the $25 if I exercise that option on my own. Oh my goodness! So they've reduced their rates down to 99 cents. So now it's a lot more affordable to do. So I'm actually on the hunt over here for a stock that's decent. Let's underline the word decent, not good, not great, but decent. Has been fairly stable, but also volatile. And I want it to be around the $20 mark, maybe a little bit less of maybe an upcoming company or something that I think is going to be good, and it's been around for a while. It's not one of those meme type stocks, that type of thing. And so that kind of fits within my budget here. And I'm going to use this screener here to help me out with it. So join me on the adventure of screening out some stocks. So I've gone to screener here. You can pick your exchange. So if you want to pick a particular exchange, you can do that. I'm not going to do it. You can mess around with your market cap right here. So I'm going to go large cap. And so that's $10 billion or more for these companies. You can go price, right? So I want to go under, let's go under $30. And so what it's doing down below is eliminating companies here. So we're at 7 pages, plus 7 pages of company, all alphabetical at the moment. You can do your index here if you want to do S&P 500. You could do that. I like to go dividend yield, and I like companies that pay distributions or dividends. Now, if they're a company, they're dividends. If it's an ETF, it's a distribution. So I'm going to say over 1%. The reason I like that is because usually it means that company's a little more stable. You can see here now we're up to 5 pages where we were at 7 before. You can, again, tinker with any of these numbers that you want to. If you have a particular sector that you would like to invest in, maybe healthcare or financials or energy as an example, I'm going to leave that blank. You could also go short floats here. You can also go relative volumes, mess around a little bit with that. Same thing with industries here. Again, I'm going to leave all of that blank for now. Current volume, I like this one. I want to change it up here. Let's go over 1 million for now, but we'll go back and maybe change it around after. But look at that. We're still at 5 pages here. And you can see on the far right-hand side this way, you can see the volume of each company. You can actually click volume and it will bring up all the top volume companies. We're going to do that in a bit. You can go country if you want. USA, you can do that. Options, right? You can see if it's optionable or not. So it's funny. I actually did this before, and I was like, "Oh, that's super volume. It's got a lot of volume." And I went and looked, and you couldn't write options on that particular company. So I'm going to keep it as is right now, but we'll change it up after. And so what I'm going to do is actually click on volume right here, and I want to get all of the top volume companies up here, right? So you can see Pfizer is by far got the most trading volume out of the indicators that I've selected here. We got Ford. Hey, if you watch my Retire on Dividends video interview, I talked about Ford was the first stock I ever bought. And I mean, this is something where you can now take this information to your brokerage, which I'm not going to do right now just because my brokerage shows my account number in like 5 different places. But you can take this information, click on options. You can look at the implied volatility. You can look at, at the end of this week, the end of next week, if you want to do a month out or longer, you can see what kind of premium you would generate by using these companies. Now, remember, all of these companies are under $30 per share, which means that you would have to have $3,000 to sell a cash secured put. And basically, that money would go out there into the world. It would be held. That's what Questrade's saying they're going to do anyways. They're going to hold that money for you until the end of your strike price, or strike date that you've set. So like, let's say we set this Friday. I think it's like the 14th. The 14th. So I don't know. Let's say it was Ford as an example. You can see their price here is $13.30. Not that I would do Ford. It's just an example, right? So I would need to have $1,330 in cash. If I set my cash secure put at 13.30, I'd probably set it at like $13 and try and generate a little bit of income. So I'd need to have $1,300 in my account, in my cash account at Questrade in order to do that. And if the stock price gets to $13 or below, then I bought it for $13. If it doesn't, then it expires worthless, and I just repeat and do it again and again and again until I get um, those shares by the strike price meeting what the price of the stock is. And at that point, I would just write a covered call. Now, I don't know if I would write it right at the money or what's my strategy going to be. Maybe it would be a few pennies out, so I make a little bit of upside potential. But the hope and the dream here is to start small with the options, and I'm probably going to pick something under $20. So I'm not too sure what it's going to be. I'm looking for suggestions, something not super degenerate. Um, all of these ETFs like TSLL and there's like an AMD one that somebody mentioned. I don't know. They seem kind of super risky, and I'm not necessarily into super risky. I'm into building my income, but building it a little more safely, right? So I want to get a company that's decent, that pays out an okay premium in there as well. And by selecting these filters right here, I mean, we can even change it up. Let's go this one, over 2 million. And then it shows all the companies. We reduced it down to 4, right? So now you can see all the companies, all of their volume here. And I'm just trying to generate a little bit of income for myself here, which in time I can kind of compound that and multiply the action here. And it's kind of like like a fun side hustle for me. Some of the things I want to really lock down before I do it though is how I want to learn on Questrade how to close out of options. I want to make sure that I've protected myself here, no naked puts or anything wild like that. I just want to be a little safe with it, especially my first few times. But I feel like this could be another way to generate income for myself. And I might end up taking some money out of one of my ETFs here. I haven't decided if I want to do that, but a few of them have been kind of lagging over the last few months here, and I might end up just taking money out of those funds to buy one of these in here, or I guess to not buy, but to run a cash secure put with. But again, I am looking for your suggestions. If you have any in mind that have decent volume, decent premiums that they pay, and preferably under $20, let us know in the comments below because I think there's other people out there that are also looking to do the same thing. In terms of YouTube content, I know it's not super popular, so I would just kind of add that to my videos. But if you want to, follow along in that journey, I do plan on sharing it with my members in full, so that you guys can see that you guys pay to be here, and I'm so grateful for you to do that. So thank you very much for being a member of my channel. I want to share the journey with you all, and so I'll go ahead and do that. Um, by the way, I'm also in real estate, and today, November 11th, 12 years ago today, I started my job that I still do over here. But today I made my first sale in real estate as well. Isn't that funny with the timing? 12 years later, making my first real estate sale. My name is Mike. Channel's name is Health and Wealth. Have a good night. Bye for now.